Hi, and welcome to a little lesson to keep you busy until we can get back to one-to-one lessons after Christmas. So we're going to look at the single paradiddle and how we can apply it to the drum kit. Okay, so this lesson we're going to start with a foundation exercise, work into intermediate, and then finish up with something for more advanced players. So if you haven't done the paradiddle before with me, it's very simple. The sticking is right to left, right to right, left, left. Now what you need to aim for is to try and get the first right and the first left of each half of the paradiddle as a slight accent. So the other notes should be a little bit quieter than that. Now, as you know, I'm really keen when we're practicing anything to get the bass drum in as soon as possible because in reality, that's what we're going to do. We're always going to be playing the bass drum. If we're playing the drum kit, the bass drum and the hands have got to coordinate. So if we put the bass drum down 4 in a bar, 4 quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, and then we'll play the paradiddle in semiquavers or 16th notes. Now, for you foundation students, the most important thing is to get that left and that right to really sit down nicely with the bass drum. So the right and the left have got to sit nicely together. Okay? That's the first stage. Now, the next thing we're going to do, and this is slightly more advanced, we're going to take that paradiddle and put it up on the hi-hat. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to play the paradiddle on the hi-hat, and the left hand is going to drop down for the first left stroke, which will turn out to be the second and fourth beat of the bar, the back beat. So if you've not done that before, that's a nice little exercise. Put the bass drum on 1 and 3. We can obviously then play around with our bass drum. So if you've done the quaver bass drum patterns, try playing those with that paradiddle. If you've done the semiquaver patterns, try playing those with the paradiddle. There's obviously loads of those you can play against that paradiddle. Once you've done that and you feel confident with that, reverse the whole thing. Now lead with the left hand. Now the right will come down on the 2 and the 4. So now we can go through the same motions again, but now with the right hand playing the backbeat. So you can go for all of those. That give you a fair amount of work, to be fair. Make sure they all sound nice. Obviously, the important thing is to try and make sure that all of those bass drums line up perfectly with the hands on the hi-hat. There's no sort of flamming going on. They're nice and all falling nicely with the left or right hand or combinations or whatever. Okay? So once you've done all that, you can then try playing the paradiddle between the snare and the hi-hat. Now, this is the last exercise on the foundation page. Obviously, we want to throw away everything but the 2 and the 4 on the left hand. So all of those other notes are all ghosted. So that's great practice for your ghosted notes. Now, a little example of that that I found recently, one of my favourite drummers is Steve Jordan. And he did an album with John Mayer quite a few years ago called Try. It's a live album. There's a track on there called I've Got a Woman. And on that track, he plays the paradiddle almost the whole bar, just finishes on 4, doesn't play the last doesn't resolve at the last part of the paradiddle, but he plays a paradiddle between the hands and the feet, and he plays quavers on the top with the right hand. So we get this sort of effect. And he's accenting the two and the two and. So the left hand is now going. You've got to really kill off that last double left as a ghosted note. So you hear those two accents. And the whole thing has got a little shuffle groove to it. As I say, he finishes on 4, the paradiddle on the 4th beat with the snare. And it's got a little shuffle groove to it, and he also sticks a little drag at the beginning. So we get this. Nice little groove using the paradiddle.